All right, welcome back to our C++ journey. Today, we're hitting a big one. A really fundamental topic. We're going to talk about how programs remember stuff, how they keep track of information. This is basically how we give our code a memory. So let me ask you something. Ever played a video game? Of course you have. You're running around, you grab a coin, and boom, your score goes up. Or you beat a boss and your experience points climb. How? How does the game remember that score? It's not magic, right? It has to be storing that number somewhere. Well, the answer is it uses something called variables. And honestly, the best way to picture a variable is just like a labeled box. That's it. It's a container sitting in your computer's memory. You slap a name on the box, you put some data inside, and you're good to go. Let's put this into a different context. Imagine our program is telling a story, right? There once was a man named John. Now, what happens if later on you decide, you know what, I want his name to be George? You'd have to hunt down every single time you wrote John and change it. What a total pain. But with variables? Nah. We just make a box called character name, put John inside, and another box called character age, and stick 35 in there. So much easier. So if we're going to get all technical about it, here's the official definition. A variable is just a named spot in memory where you can park some data. By giving it a name, a label for our box like character name, we can just shout out that name anytime we need the value inside. Super simple, super powerful. Okay, so how do we actually use one of these things in C++? Well, it's kind of like a two-step process. First, you have to declare it. This is basically you telling C++, hey, I need a new box, and by the way, this box is only for storing, say, whole numbers. Then, step 2, you assign it. That's the part where you actually pop the value into the box. And here's what that looks like in actual code. You can do those two steps on separate lines. First, int age, that's the declaration. Then, age equals 35, that's the assignment. This is super handy when you don't know the value right away. Maybe you're waiting for the user to type it in. But most of the time, you'll probably just do it all in one go, like this. Int age equals 35. We call that initialization, and it's just a clean, fast way to get it done. Okay, so that declaration part, that int thing we just saw, that leads us to a really, really important question. We've got our boxes, but what kind of stuff can we put inside them? C++ is what we call a strongly typed language. That's a fancy way of saying it's very picky. You can't just shove any old data into any old box. You have to tell it the type of data it's going to hold. So let's talk about these flavors of data. We'll kick things off with the one you'll probably use the most, numbers. Think about it. Game scores, bank accounts, scientific calculations. It's all numbers. And right away, even with numbers, there's a big split you need to know about. For whole numbers, numbers with no decimal points, like a score of 100 or the year 2026, you're going to use int. That stands for integer. But the second you need a decimal point, like for a GPA of 3.7 or a price of $19.99, you gotta switch to a double. And this is not a suggestion. If you try to stuff $19.99 into an int, C++ will literally just throw away the .99. Poof, gone. All right, so we've got numbers covered. What else is there? Well, sometimes you don't need a whole number. You just need a single thing, like one character, or maybe just a simple yes or no answer. And for those cases, we've got a couple of perfect tools. First up is the char, which is short for character. It holds exactly one single character, a letter, a number, a symbol, whatever. But here's the catch, and this is super important. You must use single quotes, like A. Then we have the bool, short for Boolean. This one's even simpler. It has only two possible values, true or false. That's it. It's like a light switch, right? On or off. Perfect for things like, is the user logged in? True or false? Okay, so a char is great for one letter. But what if you need more, like a whole word, or a name, or an entire sentence? One character just isn't going to cut it. For that, my friends, we bring in the std string. A string is exactly what it sounds like, a string of characters all chained together. And listen up, because this is one of the most common beginner mistakes. Remember how char used single quotes? Well, a string always uses double quotes. So A in single quotes is a char. A in double quotes is a string. They are not the same thing. If you mix those up, your compiler is going to yell at you. Guaranteed. Whew, okay. That was a lot, I know. We've looked at all the basic ingredients for storing data. So let's take a second and put it all together in one place, kind of like a cheat sheet you can come back to. And here it is, your ultimate starter pack for C++ data types. You've got int for whole numbers, double for numbers with decimals, char for one character using those single quotes, bool for a simple true or false, and std string for any text using double quotes. Honestly, with just these 5, you can build a ton of amazing things. This is your foundation. But why does C++ make us do all this? Why all the different types? Well, choosing the right data type isn't just a friendly suggestion, it's you giving the computer very specific instructions. You're telling it 2 critical things. First, how much memory it needs to save for this piece of data, which is all about being efficient. And second, what kind of operations are even possible? You can add 2 ints together, but it makes no sense to try and multiply a person's name by their age, right? This type system is actually one of C++'s greatest strengths. It stops you from making silly mistakes before you even run your program. So there you have it. You now understand the absolute fundamentals of how a program has a memory. So the question I have for you is, what are you going to build? Think about it. A simple program to store your contacts. What would you need? Well, you'd need a string for the name, right? Maybe another string for the phone number, an int for their age. See? You're already thinking like a programmer. You now have the building blocks to get started.